All right, so after hours and weeks and really years of trying, although I haven't tried as hard as I have in the last week or so, I managed to connect the MacBook Pro with the G5, which I have together, is go through the steps. So I restarted both computers because I ended with a crash, and I'm gonna just open up this over here and go through what I got going on right now. So we have the network here, but I don't have. I'll have to open up my connect to the other computer, and then when I hit share screen, it's pretty handy. This is a great feature. I love it. And then I just slam it to the one on top. So the G5 basically has the DAWs that I plan on using. Got Soundtrack Pros, a Digital Performer, videos or any kind of anything other than music, and then just on stage whatever's. And in the MacBook Pro right here, I got two ports, one for all the instruments and one for the time code. Now, the confusing part here is like, they say you can like hook these up, but I don't have anything to hook them up to because the interface itself at this time is the MacBook Pro, and then I just connect to it. Well, refused it. Okay, well, there you go. So, see, there's still something that's not. Oops. I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Could be do that for now. Okay, well, it's connected from this computer going up. So I have the AIC bus uh, running off the globe, the lower. I again have a hard time figuring this out. And then the AIC driver, that's going to be involved with MIDI timecode, just a bus one will anyway. These are internal to internally synchronize MIDI with different programs. So this is basically what I got. This is the interface with the microKORG, and I have another piano. I rarely use it, but it's still there. And then I came across this program application. MTBX. Now this one's been a lifesaver. This is the program that really was able to figure stuff out. So this one here has you're able to log all of the information. Right now there's nothing, but and you can see it. So when you highlight it, it basically shows you what's going on. All right. And right now the microKORG is set to it's waiting for some information. It's got the advanced sensors on and the input, and it's just blinking. That's the tempo it's blinking, but it's not setting a time code. It's basically just kind of like, a hello, I'm here kind of a signal, right? And maybe we'll look at it by recording it. Yeah, well, it's not really doing anything, is it? So it's not showing up as anything. It's just basically, I don't know, maybe it's happening or not. So now what to do next? Okay, so I guess we'll go to the over to soundtracks, which is where I was last time. This might crash. If it does, I'm just gonna erase this video and just keep doing this until I get it right. And idea behind this video is to remember exactly what I did. Okay, so this was what we had saved, and before I press play, I'm going to just make sure the video rate is turned off, because that really does make a difference. And you can see all the information here you can put, and then here's the tempo. I was gonna go for like maybe 119. I was adjusting this when it crashed, and this particular like soundtracks doesn't alter the pitch or anything when you change the tempo. So this file here has a set pitch, and I don't really intend on stretching it. I mean, I could, but a lot of times when if I come up with something kind of cool, well, I don't really plan on changing the tempo, because the tempo is part of its coolness. You know, specifically with the stuff I'm doing. So my approach is basically to, when I find something, to just have the accompanying files fit within the initial idea. And in order to find out what tempo it is, well, if I don't write it down or have it included in the file name, which is what I've been doing lately, I can analyze it. But I don't seem to be, I can analyze it in Digital Performer, but I don't see that I can analyze it here. It doesn't really show when I highlight the file. Or if I do, it fails, I'll come back and I'll change that file. Now I go to the preferences and just make sure that these are set properly here again. 44.1, starting timecode beats, unspecified video frame, 115. See here it says 115, but what I tempo of the music is 119, so there's a difference here. So one of these is going to have to dominate over the other, I suppose. And then synchronization. So this is what I have so far. Sync to MIDI clock on the to income. The hope is to be able to send this program a signal that'll change its tempo from a master device, another device, even from this, like, you know, even internally or whatnot. But okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and press play now. And then go take a look at the not seeing anything through the network. Oh, the routing is off. Okay. So this one up here. Oops. See, this is 143. This is wrong. Again, it's not. It's wrong. You know, it's so bloody frustrating. Here now, 249. So we're just, you know, just lost in space here. Okay. So I come back from the crash, and I just made one one change, and it reset itself. So this is the important thing to remember here, okay? So we have this on, and then the MIDI clock set to none. The MIDI channel virtual machine device clicked on, this none, and this clicked on, and this, if all else fails, 30 non-drop is the digital standard there. That's what YouTube wants, and the other ones are those are just kind of like for film, and they're a little bit confusing, but anyway. So with that like that, and then with this guy having the Soundtrack Pro Sync source coming in, and nothing on the way out for now. Fixed it. So I'll press play. I turned it down too. I don't know, it was kind of loud last time. This stuff is tiny. Soundtracks Pro, by the way, this turned into Logic. That's what happened to Soundtrack Pro. It became the basis of a Logic. I don't know why I can't really get into Logic, or I just can't wrap my head around it. I can wrap my head around this stuff, but Logic, with all its everything's kind of hidden in strange places for to find, and I find that like it's not something that lets me be too creative. Okay, so here we have the network session, and it's on by default. I only discovered this through this program because I would always click on a network session through the routing, thinking that that's how it works, and it really does for single instruments. But I guess when you're dealing with control and all that other stuff, it's a whole other matter. So this is how I have it set up, and here's the AIC bus, which is routed again through here. Alright, so there's now that we have that, let's go try our luck with Livid Looper. Now this one has been the one that's been most difficult, and I love the sound of this, and this one is completely the kind of program that can be controlled with controllers. It's meant to be with controllers. It's kind of like, I don't know, something I found that is buggy as hell, but I think once it's connected properly and done properly, that it won't be buggy like within a piece of hardware that's not going to change every bloody time. Okay, so I don't know, I'm hoping this is going to work. Okay, so I gotta configure the audio because it always comes up nothing. And I'm gonna stop this too. Sorry guys. See, it's already crashed. Shame. This. Livid Looper is really fussy, so make sure nothing's on. It's got its own channels. I don't use them, or haven't. Doesn't really give me an option to. I'll let it load before touching it this time. Okay. Audio. So we're sampling at 44.1. Low sample rate. This could probably go a little higher. the buffer is really low. So anyway, this is how this is set up for now with audio, and then here is the module for the MIDI sync on. And let's press play on this guy over here. All right, well, the chain, it went to, it's working. It's good. So now I'll load up the loops. This thing does, well, it doesn't save them loaded, so yeah, those don't sound very good. I think this one was. No, these are the same ones. And here's some of the ones that I put in. I put the beats per minute, so like these ones are over here. I know this is kind of this is a hard kick here. The ones I had on here before are not here. This is totally random. It's weird. Anyway. So basically, it's a mess still. You know, yeah, it's working, I guess, but it's jumping all over the place, and I guess that has to do with the network, so it's not really that great. We are going through Wi-Fi. I'm going to see about doing an ad hoc network, which is basically running it directly from wire to wire. If you, oh no, not under here, but under create a network, you can create an ad hoc, like computer to computer. And so I would just select a channel on both the computers, and then we would probably get rid of all that jumpiness. Okay, so these are the two most difficult things to synchronize, and it's still buggy as hell. So this is really not really working out, the Livid thing, but it did allow the change, and so if it worked on Livid, it'll work on other things. Now what I'm going to do is throw out this file because it's almost like a soundtrack here, but it's probably way too loud on the other side listening to it. So what the hell, I'll just launch Digital Performer and see what kind of nonsense we get. This will probably crash, who knows. But the all this changes that have been happening in the background with the MIDI and those kinds of things are I haven't run Digital Performer since, so there might be some kind of conflicts going on here, and some other issues that are going to come up. We'll see, because this thing over here, oh, okay. Let's see. So this is 105. I'll just press play. See, it's not synchronized. Like, it's not in sync right yet, just yet. You know, and this was where the where I got hung up on the synchronizing, because I wanted to run like looper and then have the loopers, but I never been able to get it synchronized properly. So let's just see what the DP stuff is doing here. Here it's setting a clock at 105. Okay. Oops. This is pretty cool because the oh no, it's not on. Oh, you see, it's not okay. I'll open this up here. Programs like this. Oh, this is the one I didn't even give it a name. So all these kind of have to work with each other. And here's the sampler over here. And the sampler is not on MIDI yet. So that's going to be, oh, that's on channel 10. Okay, so that's where it belongs for drum machines. And then we have this over here. And that's on channel 2. I'll just switch my keyboard to channel 2. And then we, if we look over here, yeah, so the keyboard is set to take time code, and I believe that Digital Performer, let's go take a look at it over here. Let's see how this guy's behaving right now. Under setup, there's see, it's got to be over a non-standard. Well, I guess not, maybe it won't let me receive sync. And so under the receive sync, I'll be receiving MIDI timecode on the AIC driver, which is good. And see, I'm not transmitting any MTC. And transmit beat clock via port. Okay, so I want to send a beat clock to soundtracks up there. And let's see, to do that I have to send it, I guess, the network. So if I select the network, I don't know if this is going to work, but and I'm not gonna, do I send MTC? Like the MTC is, I don't know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh happy day, oh happy day. All right, now we can rock. Okay, okay. So we have sampler banks with the drums on channel 10, controlled by MIDI, which can be controlled by anything on channel 10. That this is going to be assigned. Anyway, let's see. Okay, well, I might as well get into detail here. Let's see. What is it right now? Right now it's set to any MIDI controller, but that is likely to change, to be determined at a later time. The outputs, we got subgroup 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, and then 2 stereos. So this kind of mimics my 10 channel input output, because this device. So you can use 10 full channels of output with the sampler. The sampler is also capable of playing multiple instruments at the same time. So we have a jazz kit, we have synthesizer. These are just haphazard. They're not really meant anything other than to test. But they still sound cool. These samples, I found these when I had my backup drive lost its directory and had to be, so all the files got grouped together, and I found these. I don't know where they're from. I have no clue where these samples are from, but they did, all of them were quality, really good. So I used them, and they really spun on. So once this is saved by over here with the junior kit in my my own stuff here, there. So these are the samples that I found: 808s, Mafia, Patch, all kinds of. So I went through the bother to go and spend a couple hours just rifling through those piles of folders. Really, most of them were just garbage, because these were all like they were hard to find. You had to go through everything to find them, and it was worth it. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm going to save it in here because there's some other stuff in here. I already did. All right, so what the hell? I'll do it again. Okay. So this is working. I'll leave that up. All kinds. These are the standalone instruments that this can get quite large. You just add more. For instance, why not? I'll just add this one right now. Let's see. So I go to audio instrument, and I'm gonna narrow it down to the microKORG because nothing else is gonna be running this, I don't believe. And where is that? Oh, I think it's under here. There we go. This is a really cool unit here. It's just loaded with great sounds, and it's got a really cool ass arpeggiator too. It's acid pig, just like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Bro step. Okay, it's brutal, but you can see there's quite a lot of options here. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Now, I would just go to the, let's see, how do I get the MIDI on this? have to be changed the channel to channel 1, which is kind of cool. Okay, so this would be out, like this would be somebody playing the drums for the jazz kit, right? So go back to this. Like this could be played by a variety, like a drum machine, all kinds of different things can play this, but ultimately to have a real drum, and then this can get quite a bit more personalized as well, you know, for each song. So there's that, and then there's things like that, and there's more. There's also, you can bring in live tracks over here, full array of plugins available. So you can really get specific once you start getting serious about the sounds. So that is working great. Maybe I'll save it as something other than untitled. It's working. Okay. So basically anything that I'm going to be involved with recordings that's going to be completed or involving in performance and be involving something very serious, like will rely mostly on the server and the two computers and the ability for both computers to perform them. Meaning specifically that after it's done, that I'll be able to take a good portion of it and be able to run with it live, and then have it as its own, almost like a member of the band. Won't be playing all of it. I won't go for that though. I'll be triggering drum machines, and I'll be making things fire off, so I'll have full control. At no time am I going to allow the timing, because songs obviously are in tempo and timing, but I'm not going to be constricted by that. And that was why, anyway, so that's important, not only for me, but just in general. You don't want to be like sitting there just karaokeing when especially if people are paying to see it. That's cheap. Okay, so now I did have a synchronizing success with Digital Performer, which is fan-bloody-tastic. So let's just go through the preferences so I remember. Transmit sync. So what we did was I transmitted the MTC to the AIC driver 2, and I also transmit MIDI clock into DP output, and I'm receiving MIDI time code through bus 1. So I'm receiving bus 1, sending it on bus 2, and that is shown by and so here we go. So I got receiving at the bottom, well, it's coming in from the bottom, and then it's going out at the top to the G5. And well, I guess all you gotta do is hit that button and adjust latency. Okay, so that is settled. Now I'll bring this guy over here, which is the G5. So here we have Soundtracks Pro, which is still very rigid with its tempos, again, probably because it has to be, and that's fine, because ultimately the tempo probably won't matter on here, because it's not going to be doing anything that's going to be requiring tempo. Like, it's not going to be dealing with any MIDI tracks or any kind of anything other than just swiping a timeline, start, stop, and doing things that are consistent within a song itself. And the most important thing for this program is for it to just start and stop. And that's what I got it to do. So, as you can see, now the digital performers at 105, and this one here didn't change at 119, but what it did do is start and stop. And so it was automated right here. There. And they both stop. That's fantastic. Fan-fiddly-tastic. So in order to make that work, I had to, and again, so complicated for nothing. Soundtracks Pro sync source leaving, and just network sesh coming back. Um, because if I did it the other way, that seems logical. They kind of conflicted, and then they had to be in two different channels as well. So the moral, what I'm learning here is that MIDI timecode and MIDI beat clocks and all these other data streaming stuff, they really need their own port rather than their own channel. At least at this point, I mean, I haven't. Nothing has been assigned to the ports, but because there's no limit on channels internally, they can have their own bloody port. I mean, they can have their own bloody port and just be done with it. So where was I doing? Oh yeah. So, and then here we have preferences. And I'll just go through this one more time because this is the one. Sync to MIDI time code is on, and then this is enabled, and then this one's not, and it says none. So just leaving it off by default and simply pressing the sync button made it work, which is really like really like it's not, it works, and that's the only thing that matters. So I'm gonna press this, and it doesn't change the tempo, but again, that's probably a good thing. So stop, play. So I don't know if you can hear the, I'll turn it up. There we go. And actually right now, the keyboard, I believe, is actually playing because the MIDI. Yeah, it is. So you're hearing the keyboard as well. Okay, this stuff upstairs here is not really working out. Okay, so here's an example of this right now. Like it's playing the track, and the track itself is just basically one note, but the one note is going through an arpeggiator, and this is the pattern that it's playing. And it's a random, 61% in careful adjustments, and and just until it sounded right, and that's where it happened to be, and that's really cool. So now that is part of the performance. That particular arpeggio pattern is going to be, coming along with the keyboard, and you can just play the notes, and it'll have that very specific effect. So that's an example right there. All right, and then as we change the channels, no, I actually closed that, didn't I? I closed the other program that would have normally stayed open, or anyway, it's okay. I closed that, but that doesn't matter. So these two things are in sync. That's what's important. And this is a program that came out in 2004 to 2003, Soundtracks Pro. It was dropped and became it kind of became Logic when Logic was purchased, and then Logic I guess what they had with Logic, and then whatever the technology behind all this ended up in Logic with GarageBand interface there. So anyway, this stuff is working good for me. There's also Reason, but I'm not even going to go there. Forget about Reason, so that's not going to happen. And what else is there? I'm trying to think here. Well, I'm also going to be running a digital performer in the back as well as this program. So I suppose this would be it's fucked. Okay, so anyway, I got to go back and find out what's causing the big panic attack here over here with DP5. Um, this is a brand new install and or an upgrade or whatever. And there's probably something compatible. There's something in there that's I'll be able to make that work anyway. So I'm gonna leave this here for now. And this is great. I'm so happy to have this done. So now it's time to start building libraries and start creating and making everything happen. Because now everything is well, hang on. Well, there's one more thing to do after this. There's the OSC control, which is going to be the general time of day type of clock. This will allow for networking over long distances using this application over here. OSC, which is the open source code for audio. I haven't dived into this yet, but you see it takes an IP and then you basically go and you add the different computers and they synchronize themselves over IP with a tunnel um, like like a VPN, and it's very solid because its language is unique and it doesn't interfere with anything else. So it's actually pretty promising, and the ultimate once all this is working, the last thing to do will be to attempt to network random computers with this program and accessing all of their controls through MIDI itself, the MIDI time code, and the MIDI clock configured in a way that works, and which is now easy with a program like this was impossible without this program. Where is it? I gotta go. Dyslexia guys here. You should see this video. I'm gonna. Somebody deserves a big kiss for that. Where did it go? Oh, it's over here. Sorry. Okay, this is what made because the information that this provided made it possible to figure out what the hell is going on, and this is how I was able to organize the everything to work. This really doesn't do anything apart from tell you what's going on. It doesn't do anything other than that, and that's all it needs to do. And so this program basically is able to diagnose and deal with any kind of MIDI system. Once if with a converter, which so it's pretty damn useful, and was lost without it. All right, well, thanks for joining in, and then hasta la vista.